Vocab List 6 brings us lots of really good words that we can use. The first word from Vocab 6 is going to be authoritative, which means commanding and self confident, likely to be respected and obeyed. Authoritative is not necessarily a negative word, it would be somebody who is trusted. So when I tell you to go do research, I'm looking for you to go to an authoritative source. Your next word is malicious, intending or intended to do harm. Malicious starts with M-A-L, mal, and mal means bad. So this word has a very negative connotation to it. Malicious is not just hurtful. Malicious means almost cruel to go with it. So malicious is not a word that you want to use if you're trying to deter, like say anything that's positive. Disturbed is an adjective. It is a describing word. This one means afflicted with or marked by anxious uneasiness. Just you're not settled. Now, water can be disturbed and it can have waves coming up over it. It cannot be calm. When I ask you to write sentences that involve disturbed, I would rather you talk about somebody's psyche or emotional state of being. That's the kind of disturbed that I would like for you to talk about. A dynamic character is a character that changes over the course of the story. And again, this type of change has nothing to do with a person's bank account or even physical changes. A dynamic character changes in personality and the way that they look at the world. We're going to talk this week about the bet and two characters that are titled the lawyer and the banker. One of them, I would say, is a dynamic character. One, I would argue, does not change at all. The next one is patriotic, and that's having or expressing devotion and vigorous support for one's country. They just love their country. They're all in. Patriotic typically is a very positive word. The next word is critical. Critical would have a negative connotation. Expressing adverse or disapproving comments or judgments always has something like finds fault in anything. Nothing is ever just right. Second person narration is probably the rarest of the points of view. So this is when the narrator addresses the reader as you. If you're watching a TV show, this is what we say is like breaking the fourth wall, where the actor looks directly at the camera, like I'm doing to you right now, and says you and asks how you feel and what do you think. Again, this is rare. It may make some of you feel a little awkward because normally when you're listening to a story, it's like we're just watching the events happen. Second person narration is when the narrator brings you in. Connotation. Well, I've been using this word a lot as I have been talking to you, and I think I have for the past several weeks. So, connotation is the idea or feeling that a word invokes in addition to its actual meaning. So, we said denotation is definition, a connotation is how the word makes you feel. For example, if I said the word confident, confident is kind of neutral, but it edges more on positive. If I wanted to go more positive, I could say courageous because that word elicits all kinds of bravery and excitement. Those are all kinds of positive words. But I could also go in a negative direction from confident. I could say the person is conceited. That would be very negative, and you would be like, "Ooh, I don't like that. I don't want to be called conceited. I'm okay with being called confident. I'm great with being called courageous, but I don't want to be called conceited." So, connotations, how a word makes you feel. Dialect is a particular form of language that is particular to a specific region or social group. When I think dialect, I think about my father's father, so my grandfather. He grew up on Baker's Mountain, which is in Catawba County, just north of us. And when I would go to visit him as a child, I would have to press pause and really focus on what he was saying, but because he would use words like "Ewins" and "or yonder," and I'd have to go, "Wait, let me acclimate myself to what's going on here," because he spoke English and he spoke Southern English, but he spoke mountain English or mountain Southern English. It was a very specific dialect. And finally, resolution is the ending of a story. All right. If you guys have any questions about any of these words, please reach out.